Welcome to the Worst of the Riot podcast. It's still us. We're still really here.
It is, but it's a shorter podcast just for the next few days while we do our fall fundraiser for RadioU, which we're the Riot on RadioU. So we have to have RadioU before we have the Riot.
I wonder how many people listen to the podcast only and don't listen to RadioU itself at all.
I think there's quite a few that don't
so.
even know that we do a morning show on RadioU. There's more of the Riot than you just get here. And there's also music that goes with us, too.
Yeah,
we even have music.
But there's no way you're getting music on this podcast because that's not possible.
Nope, but there's a whole new world of Riot stuff and RadioU stuff if you just go check it out
So consider
sometime.
giving if you go to RadioU.com and then put that you're a podcast listener in the comments section. We hear from quite a few of you guys who donate, whether a one-time gift or if you help out monthly to cover some of the costs of the podcast. So think about giving. That'll just be the next few days. Yep. And then we'll be back to our normal podcast.
To put it in, if you're a podcast listener in maybe more familiar terms, support our Patreon by going to RadioU.com or go buy a mattress and use code RIOT to let them know we sent you. No, just go donate.
That is normally how podcasts do get their funding.
Yeah.
We're mattress free here.
So what's in the podcast today, Isaiah?
So today in the podcast, we talked about multiple things. One of the things we talked about was how if you're going to put out pumpkins, you better have an eye out for some creepy creatures that be crawling around.
So has anybody here ever had a rat at their place?
I haven't had full-on rats.
Never a rat, like a mouse, yes.
Okay, what's full-on rat mean?
Like a rat's like a big thing.
Rats
That's
are
like a big thing.
Twice the size of a mouse.
So you have or had not? Because you're like, no,
mice.
not a full-on rat.
No, I've had mice.
Like a halfy rat, you know? Like it wasn't a big one, it was a little rat.
Some people would lump mice and rats together. I've only had mice.
Okay.
Like little field mouses and whatnot, field mice.
Gosh,
I've had those too.
A lot easier to deal with.
I got this fly in my place. It's killing me. I can't get the thing. I can't imagine a rat.
I can't even imagine a rat. This fly's freaking me out during the day.
Wow.
I can't imagine more.
They say that you're not supposed to put out jack-o'-lanterns because they could attract rats, but I just had this idea of what if you put a rat trap inside your jack-o'-lantern?
Do you think that's mean, though? Because, like, what if, like, say it was trick or treat, or if you put, like, rat poison, because then a little kid came by to the pumpkin.
It's a hazard. That is a hazard.
Or, like, look, I'm licking the pumpkin, and then something happened bad. I just would be too afraid.
Or if you did catch a rat in there, too, that would be so disgusting. If you had a dead rat in your pumpkin, like, that ruins.
And the pumpkin's already slowly rotting anyway.
That ruins Halloween. Like, for your child that, like, carved the pumpkin, they come out and they're like, there's a dead rat in my pumpkin.
You could just carve your pumpkin like a cat, and then that way maybe the rats would be too scared.
Away. Yeah. Good point.
We talked about that. We also talked about some new DiGiorno. They're coming out with a new flavor of pizza that I would try.
Only if it was Tombstone.
Well, if it was Tombstone, it'd be even better.
What's your pizza cap like money-wise?
What do you mean money, like frozen pizza?
Frozen pizza, because I know you said like you like Tombstone pizzas.
Yes.
And Hudson makes fun of you because that's like
the cheapo pizza.
It's real close to you being dead because that's why it's Tombstone pizza. So like,
even though he went to a place where he got a Band-Aid in his food and he returns because it's cheap
now
Chinese.
Listen, you hit back with that because you're hurt. Okay,
you
hurt
can't
people
deflect.
hurt.
Don't deflect.
So I like cheap pizza. So what?
Okay,
So I
accept it and be okay with it. But like, do you not like to buy like $5 or $10?
See, I think if it's over like $4, that's too much for a frozen pizza. Because no frozen pizza is actually going to be like good.
Yeah.
So like, if I might as well just get like one of the cheaper ones.
I disagree. I've had some pretty good frozen pizza.
Yeah, but they're all the same.
Hudson. Just listen.
Yeah, you just listen. It's my turn, okay? It's my turn.
You have
no frozen pizza.
You have
good.
the sharing stick.
Here, you have the talking pizza. You know we're having pizza for dinner today?
Oh, we are?
Yeah, pizza for
what
dinner.
What kind of pizza do we have?
I think I asked
It's not Tombstone.
No, I asked for Jets, but I'm not sure.
I like Jets.
That would
might
be
be
good.
something else. I'm not sure.
That might be too rich for our taste, but
guys, we can't afford that.
I don't know if we're ready for something like that.
Yes, that's what I mean.
My stomach, it's going to be so overwhelmed with these new flavors.
I love Detroit-style pizza, but anytime I see that, you're just like, it's so expensive.
Yeah. Jets will kill you. Jets won't kill you with how bad it tastes. It'll just kill you with, it will make you take you out of house and home.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jets puts me to sleep with the deep. Oh my gosh, it's so good though. We talked about that. We also talked a little bit about the line of the bathroom, some new porta-potties as well.
You'll hear some Worst of Riot in with this podcast.
Yeah, some throwback.
So you'll hear some throwback stuff at the end of this.
That you might have missed when it was fresh and new.
That and Nikki not ever having mowed the grass, apparently.
Nope,
that was months ago. She still doesn't. She, you and I, Isaiah, I see us as.
Wait a minute, Isaiah, have you mowed?
Yes, I've mowed the grass.
I just want to make sure
grass.
before you guys go throw me under the mower.
You and I are the hoi polloi, and Nikki is up there in her ivory tower.
I'm a city girl, like you like to say.
Yes, you're a city slicker.
I'm a city gal.
Okay, I have a number to fix everything, and I can't do it on my own.
Has a lawn.
Well, Nikki, if you need someone to mow your grass, Hudson would be more than happy.
I know, he's so
Not
close.
me, Hudson would be more than happy.
Well, enjoy the podcast. It is a little bit shorter, like we mentioned, but we'll make up for it. We promise when we get back to our normal
up for it with
podcast.
a really long intro.
If we keep, let's just talk for 20 more minutes.
We just talk for a long time right now
until the Jets pizza gets here.
That will be good. Well, thank you guys for considering supporting our podcast. We really do appreciate and love every single one of you. Check out RadioU.com to donate if you can help out today.
All right. Catch you later.
Bye.
The Riot Podcast. Radio U.
Good morning, Isaiah.
Good morning.
Did you? I was gonna sing. Actually, I just can't. I want to find the memories.
Oh, beautiful.
Under the moonlight.
I was really hoping we'd skip the singing. I thought he was like, I need to figure out my tune real quick. I was like, well, we can skip that altogether if we want.
Not with Hudson. He was an understudy for the Cats Broadway.
Yeah, almost
musical.
made it.
Still holding out.
If I didn't break my ankle, I would have been.
It seems like they could have used you at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
Actually, the movie, you're like, oh, the Cats movie, it would have made it better.
Yeah.
Anybody could have get in on that.
Yeah, but then people would have had to see my butthole, so.
It's true. For the movie, that was a part of the problem. Does everybody remember the Cats movie that came out? That was so bad that no one saw, but just everybody made fun of.
Was that, when was it? Like the end of 2019?
I think so. It was around Christmas.
It came around to ruin Christmas, and then suddenly the pandemic sprung up. It was like, and the theater shut down. Maybe it was in response. Maybe this to end this.
That was the only thing that could make the Cats movie seem okay, was that the pandemic came. They're like,
no,
we got to get rid of this thing.
Still bad.
Nothing can make the Cats movie feel okay. And that's not just us saying that. It's also, I don't know if you know Andrew Lloyd Webber. He is the writer, the playwright.
The composer.
He turned the T.S. Eliot poem into what is the Broadway play, the Broadway show that is Cats. So when he saw the movie, how do you think he felt about it?
Disgusted.
I thought he'd be a part of it, but I guess maybe not.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. It would make sense for them to, like, I don't know, refer back to him, ask him some questions and whatnot. It seemed like they just avoided him at all costs almost.
Well, I don't know. It feels like they couldn't have possibly not asked him anything, but when he saw the movie, he said it was off the scale, all wrong. There really wasn't any understanding of why the music ticked at all. I saw it and I just thought, oh no. It was the first time my 70 odd years on this planet that I went out and bought a dog.
Oh,
he bought a dog in response to his cats.
He needed a emotional support dog.
Yeah.
So he bought a dog as a result of seeing the Cats movie, and this is the guy who made Cats the musical.
Yeah. So I wanted to say, Andrew, you're not the only one.
But you haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it. Haven't seen it, hated it.
Yes, exactly.
Haven't seen it, don't need to eat it.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
right.
If you can know that you won't like the movie before you've even seen it, you can just know.
Well, Tiffany just texted, said, "Good morning. Cats was the worst movie I've ever seen."
But I know I hate it, but I also know I would hate the musical, so I don't want to.
The musical's not as bad.
Why would you hate it? How do you know you would hate it?
Bad.
It's not
what do you
as
mean?
bad.
I hate all musicals.
What?
Unless
Why?
they're ironic musicals.
You're such a musical man.
Yeah,
What
like
are
a
you
musical
doing?
artist.
I know, and so none of them are up to my standards. Is the problem.
Yeah, that makes
You know
sense.
what I hate about musicals is that people don't just break into song. And that's what bothers me about it.
That they don't break into song, or that they do break into song?
In real life, it's not a natural thing to confess your feelings in a song out of the blue spontaneously, and that's what every musical does. So I hate it because it's not realistic.
It's not realistic. That's what we're
The movie,
we're not
the movie
talking
Cats,
about.
I guess, is not that realistic. I guess neither is the musical. So I mean, I don't want to watch it. I just don't want to
that's
see
my problem with it.
No one see it if you haven't. Tiffany, remember, she said it's the worst, so we're going to go by her. And we're not going to watch that.
It may make you get a dog even if you've never had a dog your whole life.
You don't want a dog.
Just out of response. Well,
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Very quick poll. Hudson, how many donuts have you had?
just one. Just the one.
I had 2. Isaiah, how many have you had?
1.5.
Get on it. Get the other half.
I know, right? I had a half because it was like the glazed one, so I was like, I don't want to take the only glazed one, so I just ate half of it so somebody else could have it.
You were
It was
being
a generous action of
that's
mine.
very nice of you.
You should have just taken another half of another type of donut.
Yeah. Well, that's what's to come, It's still early.
I want someone at 2 just like me.
He's like, someone else should eat another donut, okay?
Please.
I feel that with food, in a like a communal setting, and with a lot of things where you're out and about, you never want to be the top of the list, like the most. You don't want to be the worst dressed person.
Sure.
You could be the second worst dressed person.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to eat the most donuts. You could eat the second most donuts.
Well, I need
so.
someone else to come in and take my spot. So work on that, please, if you don't mind.
Well, it has nothing to do with donuts, but you know that Halloween is coming up, right?
It is.
And
I'm excited.
Are you putting out your jack-o'-lanterns? Did you get your pumpkin yet?
I haven't got my pumpkin yet, and I don't actually usually carve them. That's
Yeah.
a lot of work.
Uh-huh.
So I usually just set it out on the porch, and that's it.
Yeah.
What about, you do that too? Just get a regular pumpkin
yesterday
and don't do anything?
I went to the store and with my roommate, and I was like, should we get a pumpkin? Like, we walked by it. It was only like $3.
There's a pumpkin shortage.
I know there's a pumpkin shortage, but there
There's a
was
shortage.
plenty there.
I know. We're not experiencing the shortage for sure.
And we didn't get one yesterday. I think we'll probably just do like the mini ones, and we'll probably do the same thing. We're not going to carve them. I would say, if we're going to do anything, it would be possibly paint them, but probably not carve. It's just such a mess. It's a mess.
You just take a Sharpie, and you're just like, here, put a little face on
Jeez.
it.
Exactly.
Well, why don't you just get a piece of paper then? Come
Okay,
on.
great idea. Are you carving pumpkins?
I just don't want to clean up the mess.
No, I don't want to do the pumpkin thing at all, actually.
Okay, well, then that's great.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't
be
want
festive, Hudson.
Carving is too much work, and I have here a reason why you're not supposed to do it, and that is because it will bring rats to town.
It does?
boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo.
What do you mean? You want rats in your house?
I think this is complete crap. I
We
think this
don't
is
live
so
in an area.
silly.
This is in Massachusetts. I don't
So-
think we live in a. The rats are scared where we live in. Anyways, it's too populated.
No. What? No, that's where rats love, because that's where there's the most food.
City rats.
Yeah, that's what they're going to come. And you know why we don't have enough rats? Because people are smart and they're not putting out their jack-o'-lanterns.
Smart.
They
It's
say
a
that.
tradition. What do
We
you
start
mean?
putting out
They're like,
jack-o'-lanterns.
keep your pumpkin inside. What's the fun in that?
Now,
No, don't get a pumpkin. They say do an artificial pumpkin, an artificial jack-o'-lantern.
Why don't we just get rid of everything good then? All
well, what you
happiness.
can do is just don't carve out your pumpkin, because what happens is if you're carving your pumpkin, the rats will try to get in and they'll eat that. So they actually love this time of year,
Yeah,
they'll
that's right.
eat your pumpkins, and you come out and you're wondering what happened. It was a rat.
And the way the rodentologist describes it is, he says, once one rat finds out about your pumpkin, he tells the whole neighborhood, and then all of a sudden all the rats know that this is the house with the pumpkins, and so we're going to swarm it. And so that's why you want to put out. Look, Isaiah, we talked about this before. You are totally on board with artificial trees.
Yes.
Why would you not be on board with artificial
It's
jack-o'-lanterns?
different. It's like a whole experience. Like when I was a little kid, it was really
A horrible
exciting.
experience.
No, it was really exciting to get to carve the pumpkin. You put it out. It's a whole ordeal. Who wants to be like the mom or dad that's like, actually, we can't display your beautiful artwork today because we don't want to get rats around the house.
Oh
Like,
my
I guarantee, if any listener puts out a pumpkin, if you see a rat near it, you should text in and tell me I'm wrong. But I guarantee you will not see a rat this Halloween.
Well,
I
I don't want to
guarantee
take
it.
my chances.
That's a bold promise right there.
Guarantee it.
If you're looking for hot takes on the day's most important news stories, you're in the wrong place. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
All right, Nikki, how do you feel about this? Do you do frozen pizza very often?
There's a couple from Costco that I'll do.
Yeah?
But it's not as often.
No, not really.
Well,
I do
that's
frozen.
not a not really. it's not often.
Not often. I do frozen pizza fairly frequently, especially now with our fast food ban that we're going through. Frozen pizza doesn't count.
Listen, frozen pizza, that's a staple. That's like you do that once a week.
Yeah, exactly. That's about where I'm at with it. So I was interested to see that DiGiorno, they're always coming out with new crazy ideas. They're innovating in the frozen pizza space.
Are they?
And their new idea is mac and cheese frozen pizza.
Oh, is it Stouffer's mac and cheese?
Oh, yeah, look at that. It is Stouffer's.
That's a collab.
Yeah, that's right.
That's so bad that
DiGiorno
it is.
X Stouffer's. And so you can get that. Now,
Are you going to get that in the capsule collection, or what sort of collab are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't know all the fashion stuff, how that all works, but hopefully it's not doesn't run up the prices like that kind of collab would.
Sure.
It's only going to be it's not going to be coming until spring of next year. However, they are running a sweepstakes where they're giving away 100 of them right now.
But you don't get it until next year? Like you maybe get a coupon, or
I think they're just maybe they have an early run. They must have made test frozen mac and cheese pizzas, right?
Mm-hmm. If not, you'll have to wait. We don't know how you actually get them if you win.
You do. There is a sweepstakes, nevertheless.
Now, what you can do is grab a DiGiorno pizza and Stouffer's mac and cheese.
You can
and just
easily do it at home.
Plop it on top, and then there you go.
You know what I had recently? Speaking of DiGiorno and their crazy pizza creations, I had their croissant crust pizza.
Yeah.
That was surprising. It wasn't like it was a bad pizza, but you would think the croissant crust would totally change things. Really wasn't all that different from any other pizza I've ever had.
It tasted the same.
It was pretty much the same. I bet you, to be sure, if you go to a real pizza place, sorry, DiGiorno, you go to a real pizza place and get a croissant pizza, I bet you it would change a lot, but a frozen version, not as much.
Well, we were talking off air when we were looking at the mac and cheese stuff. We were saying, there used to be some other places that would do mac and cheese pizza around us.
Yeah.
I could totally get into a mac and cheese pizza, but I am shocked how many pizza places have gone out of business or they're on the no list because you've gotten violently ill from there.
Especially ones that had the mac and cheese pizza. It seems to maybe be a correlation in some way.
I'm not going to say yes to that, but I do remember getting some mac and cheese pizzas. I never got sick off of one, but I miss that.
It feels like it feels like a little too much for me.
Is it too rich?
Yeah.
Taste wise,
it's it's flying too close to the sun.
It's mac and cheese.
What but it's a pizza.
Yes, it's a pizza and mac and cheese, two of the easiest
They're
things
not
there.
to be enjoyed together. There's a reason it's making people sick.
Can you imagine if they top it with like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Yeah,
it's like literally everything.
And chicken nuggets too. Come on, let's take it easy. Let's have one meal at a time, can we?
That's literally every meal that we have throughout the whole week put on one pizza.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm gonna pass on maybe this one.
Okay, I see.
But it is interesting though.
But they're giving away the chance to enter to win early. Otherwise, it's not till next year.
Yep. So don't get too excited. You're going to have to hold this one in the back of your mind for a while.
I feel like Hudson did not get excited at all.
No, I didn't.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
McDonald's testing out a new feature. They're calling it a feature. Mm-hmm. I tend to think it's less of a feature and more of an annoyance that they're going to be rolling out in a few drive-thrus in the Chicago area with the hope that it will roll out across the country, and it is artificial intelligence drive-through ordering.
So basically, you would go and it would not be a person actually taking your order.
Yep.
It'd be all automated, which nowadays at some restaurants, they're like, hey, thanks for coming to McDonald's, such and such. And you then start your order, and then it's a completely different person.
Yep.
Like they have
the pre-roll.
The pre-roll, they do. But this would be where the AI would be taking your order.
Yeah, because we all know how well that's been working with like phone operators, like you call the bank or something and it's like, let me pull up your information. And it's always like all automated and
wrong.
It's never right. It's good when they just can identify you by your phone number, I guess, to save you one thing. But the actual interactions with those robots are not particularly enjoyable. And what's so wrong about just ordering from a person at McDonald's? Is it old? Is it like, are we fuddy-duddies for saying that?
There's several things, okay? One is, as people are demanding certain places pay so much more.
Yep.
Some of that is is outpaying what the position they're willing to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So that does lead towards automation of what they can remove people from.
Yeah, sure.
The second is you can get mistakes. I'm looking at you, McDonald's. Last time I went in, you missed 2 of my items, and you were training.
But
okay?
is that the order taker?
Oh, it was.
Or it was definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, then you didn't
fault.
get charged, so it's okay.
I did, I think. Because
then they took the order.
No, it was all wrong, and he didn't even give me my receipts, so I felt like I couldn't
you don't
fight
know.
But
if it's a robot, you don't even have anybody to complain to.
I'll be fine. I don't mind automated things.
You don't mind the robot.
So it'd be 10 locations in Chicago and potentially roll out nationwide. They say some of the issues, though, with this technology of it, taking your order is there's so many promos that McDonald's is doing.
Yeah.
And some of that can be regional. So just making sure they can handle everybody in different places doing different things.
It feels like you need a programmer for each McDonald's to make sure their thing is running right.
Yeah. Same thing for the menu. They might have different menu items. The biggest problem is dialect.
Oh, yeah.
In certain parts of the country, you might have one dialect. You might have, hey, in the South, you could
I like
be
a biscuit and a sausage and a...
How can it understand
would that be able to pick it up? Yeah.
So it might not get it. And also weather. So say you're going through an automated thing at the ordering thing. It's storming. It's really loud out. There's a lot of rain.
Yep.
That audio problems could cause issues with your order too.
I'm hearing a lot of issues, a lot of potential cons for this, and not a lot of pros. Can you give me a list of pros?
You don't have to talk to someone, which is why I don't answer the phone. I have anxiety about that.
Yeah, haven't you moved on? I used to be the same way as you. I didn't like ordering at restaurants. There's just certain things. I still don't like calling people on the phone.
I know, I don't.
But I've moved on from years ago. I moved on from ordering at restaurants. It's fine.
No, it's not. I have to be prepared. I have to know the order.
Well, yeah.
I sometimes will practice it so you're ready to go because you don't want to get it wrong.
I want footage of that.
So that's why I just go park in the parking spot and I just order it from the app.
Yeah, that's
for
fine,
me.
but that works. We can all do that. We don't need Here's another thing. Think about this, Nikki. When I order at Wendy's, I can never get their website to work to order online.
Yeah.
What if the artificial intelligence ordering goes down at the restaurant? Then what do you do?
Then I go to the other place.
If a person, if your drive-through order taker just I don't know, falls ill or something and they have to leave, you could just get another person to do it. But if you're always doing the artificial intelligence robot, you don't have a backup artificial intelligence.
Well, McDonald's said that they're also just having trouble finding people to even take the orders in the first place.
Yeah, that is true.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Chocolate for breakfast.
Every day, if we could.
It's not just a cereal idea. It could be healthy for you.
Well, actually, the protein drink of choice currently for in the studio is this chocolate peanut butter one from Premier
Protein.
I guess I am having chocolate for breakfast.
Yep. Does that count?
Unless that's not like real chocolate.
Well, in this study, they gave 100 milligrams. Feels like a lot. Or not very much. 100 grams of chocolate they gave to
Let's get the scale out. What does that look like?
Yes. When you're measuring things in grams, it's usually not good. The 100 grams of milk chocolate they gave to the test subjects.
Yeah.
And what they found was it helped them burn fat and reduce blood glucose levels, which are both things that could be good, especially the burning fat. So it was a very limited sample of people that they were doing this for.
Well, that's why they were saying that, it could have unexpected benefits if you have milk chocolate or like chocolate in the morning. But they say that because this was such a limited sample of people to not run with this.
Yeah.
And
don't
just
get too excited.
And only have chocolate for breakfast, but maybe, and this isn't like Nutella, like that is a hazelnut spread. And that is not, I think, the same health benefits as just if it was
straight up milk chocolate.
A little piece of chocolate.
Yep. Just a Hershey's bar. But they gave it to them both an hour after they woke up and an hour before bedtime. So I'm in on that. Chocolate in the morning, chocolate in the evening.
Anytime.
Chocolate at supper time.
They say it's the equivalent of 2 standard size Mars bars, which would not be the chocolate of choice. And then researchers, though, they use standard milk chocolate containing a little over 18 grams of cocoa.
Okay. I liked to go back a second to where you said don't run with this study. And I want to be the one person that hears this and then it becomes your thing. It's like, the key to being healthy, I have chocolate every morning.
Well, people always say
heard
that
a study
about
once.
like dark chocolate and like the cacao like nibs and stuff in your smoothie.
Yeah.
So it's not the first time we haven't been told that some type of chocolate is okay.
Well, chocolate is a plant.
That's not what I'm eating.
No.
And that's also not how much I'm eating.
The Twix bars and the Hershey's and cookies and cream bars aren't necessarily what. And again, with every study that's like this, where it will focus on the one good thing about it, but it never points out that it may reduce your blood glucose levels, but it also might do other harmful things for you that they don't bring up as much. Because that's not what the study was looking for.
Yeah, they said eating chocolate in the morning, though, can help influence you later. It's like if you don't eat something for breakfast. For some people, that's not good because you're just super hungry then a few hours later.
Do,
but
apparently.
if you have a little chocolate in the morning, you feel like you've already had a treat or you've had something enough to where that can influence better eating choices later in the day.
So let's start every day with a treat, is what I'm hearing.
I also think we're not supposed to treat ourselves. We've heard that one many times
So what, we're
before.
supposed to punish ourselves and live in suffering and misery?
Maybe
that will be the ideal. That's the ideal for your health.
For your
you
health.
want to suffer your entire life.
Can't we be right in the middle?
Of being moderately healthy and moderately happy?
Unhappy and happy, right in the middle.
Yeah, and eating enough of what we want. That's called treating.
Store at room temperature? Now that they can do. The Riot RadioU.
Nikki, I found some valuable information for you.
Yeah, what do you got?
Since you've been watching the lawn mowing channels on YouTube, I just thought you might, if your love of watching lawn mowing blossoms into a love of mowing,
then
you might want to know the best times for you to mow so that your lawn can look its best.
It's a trick. It's never. Don't do it.
No, you should mow, Nikki. We all want you to mow.
I'm not, okay, I'll say this, but don't get mad at me and be like, how could she have never? I've never mowed before.
Yeah, we're mad at you.
Why? Why can't I not?
Because it's a rite of passage.
Things.
It's a rite of passage.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not. I will say growing up, I lived in different houses where mowing, like one had a really big hill, and if I mowed it, I might have died.
Yep.
So it's like it just never really worked out when I was growing for me being the person to go mow.
I just want you to know that the rest of us,
no choice.
When we hear you saying you've never mowed, we see you as some city slicker with moisturized hands that has never broken a sweat and doesn't know what it's like to work 9 to 5 and
then go
and
mow.
eat your lunch out of a pail.
I have
That's
been
what
in
we
more
see. This is what we
suburban
hear.
areas, but then I started a few weeks ago watching these YouTube channels where it's these couple of guys who go to like houses where maybe they're too old and their grass has grown too tall, or they have like fines imposed against them from the city, and like this is their last notice, and then they come in and watching them mow, like it's way more than I thought. Mowing was going to be.
Mowing is hard work,
and it looks very. At least in this case, it looks very uncomfortable, long, because he always speeds it up.
Yep.
So, like, how long is it supposed to take to mow these yards?
It shouldn't take too long, but if that is the overgrown yards,
It's a lot
it's
worse.
gonna take some real hard labor.
When should I mow?
If you when you mow your lawn, you're going to want to mow between the hours of 8 and 10 a.m. That is the optimal time to mow.
Aw, it's too bad I'm working.
Well, you have the weekends.
Oh, I work.
And you're up early anyways at your body clock. So just go out there, 8 a.m.
I'm always working, Hudson. I
I'm
just
sure
can't.
your neighbors will love to hear at 8 a.m. you cranking up the mower
Lawnmower.
for a nice long mow.
I could always post on the community Facebook page of this article and be like, guys, it says 8 a.m.
Yeah, it's okay. You can combat the next door, the hurled insults you get
From
with this
everybody.
infographic that it says mid-morning between 8 and 10 a.m. is the optimal time to mow because the dew should have mostly subsided by then, where it's evaporated off, because you don't want to cut wet grass.
Sure.
But it's also not too hot, which would stress you and your mower and your grass. So you don't want to cut after 10 a.m. during the summer because it would get too hot.
I did actually, I think I knew this because you're also not supposed to really water outside of those times. You're supposed to water very early.
Yep.
And they say late afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. could also be the other time if you can't do it early in the morning.
I think your neighbors will appreciate if you maybe go
better?
more of the 4 to 6 p.m. route. And then they say, I love how, then they point out the worst times to mow before 6 a.m.
Yeah.
They don't even mention because it might bother everybody else in your neighborhood.
I don't think you're supposed to.
No, you're not, for a lot of reasons, including not just because it's bothersome, but also because the grass can be wet because of dew, and the wet grass will clog up your mower. You won't get an even cut, and then your mower might leave tracks as well. So just a lot of reasons and it might even be dark. How are you going to mow in the dark? I know some mowers have headlights. Those are misleading. You don't need those. Those are just for show.
Maybe we should all just comfortable with the grass growing a little taller than what's socially acceptable for our yards. And then that way you don't have to mow as much, for everybody who does mow.
Yeah.
But if you don't mow, no.
You know what? You're sounding like somebody who never goes out and enjoys their yard and doesn't care about having a nice, even, lush
No, actually,
coating.
I love it, but I do have this is true. I have really bad allergies.
Okay.
And the second I go outside, I get welts and rashes.
Okay.
So I actually don't think I should mow. It's medical.
Okay, it's medical.
I don't think I should.
Yep. City slicker.
My skin is too delicate.
Yeah.
I can't.
You just stay inside and put on your moisturizer, and the rest of us will go out and mow our yards.
It's an antihistamine cream. Okay? I just can't mow.
Well, now the rest of us real lawnmowers know. You mow between 8 and 10 or 4 and 6.
That's the only appropriate time.
I've got to get home and mow.
Diamonds might be most girls' best friend, but for Nikki, it's DoorDash. The Riot on Radio U.
It's time to move on from sports to one of Nikki's favorite topics. Urinals.
Porta-potties.
Urinals for women, specifically.
This is an odd story, and it took a lot of looking at some of the pictures to I still don't even know if I really understand it.
No, I don't know how you would use this.
But it's basically just talking about two ex-University of Bristol students. They have a big, bar culture in that area. And so they have a lot of, public restrooms and stuff
and
outside that you can use.
And yeah, I think the idea is, if you've ever gone to a music festival or something like that, the porta-pot lines do get enormous.
Well,
but that's partly because there's a lot of people there.
But they were saying why are the women's lines so long?
Right.
Compared to the men's. And they said, is it a design issue? But I still don't know.
I don't know. Is it the
answer.
design that you're taking? Are you just confused when you walk into a porta pot?
I'm confused by this.
And it takes you 6 seconds instead of 1 second to figure out.
This looks like a bunch of the walls are put up by gym mats. They look like gym mats. And then you walk in like a fun zone center. And then
it looks like a maze almost.
It does. And it's called a pedestal sort of toilet.
Okay.
And they say that it's semi-private. You can't see anything from the waist down, but you could see your
No funnels are involved, and it's
I don't know. It's such a weird porta potty thing. I don't know.
What is going on in porta pots that I don't know about with the funnels?
In this article,
does that mean the funnel to pull the stuff out when they clean it?
Yes, I think so.
That must be what it is.
It's just a smaller footprint sort of thing. But I just keep reading it, and they're like, well, why are women taking so long in porta potties? I don't want to. No one wants to. You go in and you get out. You don't touch anything.
And Can I point out, I don't think it's just porta-pots. Like women's bathrooms, if you go to a stadium and it's just like their bathrooms are the same and the women's line will be longer, even though there's like if you're at a sports thing, there's more men, but the women have a longer line.
They say they were asked to solve a real life problem and they knew straight away what they wanted to do. And that was how to work around making it be not such a long line for the bathrooms.
Wouldn't you love to be in that meeting, like the meeting of the minds there, where they were like, I guess maybe this was a assignment at college or whatever, and they're partners, and they go, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Yes, porta-pots.
Porta-potties, that's it. It's a pedestal
yeah,
one.
but the thing that got me the most out of all of it is that it's semi-private. Is that what is holding you up? Is that people can't see you from the waist down?
Well, maybe it is the shame that everybody can see. Like, how long have you been in the bathroom?
Right. If people can see your face, you're really going to speed it up a little bit.
I'm not
instead of just being able to see your shoes.
Again, these are just like their class project thing, or not. They're not students anymore, but that's what they're trying to do. But I don't know if I could. I don't even know how to.
No, I don't know if this is going to take off. I really think in the United States, maybe Britain is more free and more like maybe there's just something about it, but we want privacy with our porta pots. I think that's one of the top rules. There's porta pots. There's a lot that goes down in there that you don't want.
It's a porta potty.
Porta pot.
It's a potty.
What if I just call it a porta john?
That's also too.
That works.
It's called No, and it's called Hold It.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.